I do believe in a higher power that sustains and directs all of life. I'd really like to know how to tell where I'm going. I get life is a mystery, but it really feels like I should at least know that. I don't have a clue about all this woo-woo. I take life as it comes, living day by day. Evolution this, evolution that. What is it supposed to mean? Evolution from what to what? Okay, so I get the nodes, but with my chart, how am I supposed to make the leap? This is either a crazy joke, some cosmic joke, or there's really a big secret to working it all out. If the purpose of life is evolution, how do we know where we are on our evolutionary path? That can be answered in infinite ways because there are infinite paths. Whether we're talking about the outer planets in Western astrology, which mark the generational collective consciousness we are here to evolve through and contribute to, are the Sidereal 120-year Mahadasha that marks the influences and duration of each planet at specific times in our birth chart. Today we're going to talk about the basic and universal evolutionary path, Great Mother Father God's nodal dance along the path of the ecliptic. Every 18 months, the type of dance they do changes how the collective planetary soul progresses through the cosmic layers of our unique evolution. We experience this as an oppositional yin-yang ego-soul energy pulling us along with them. On an ego level, it feels like pulling because as soon as we get used to Virgo North Node, Pisces South Node, we are thrust into the energy of Leo North Node, Aquarius South Node. However, simultaneously, during that transit, the soul was traversing the path the ego was preparing to enter in Leo Aquarius. And with a quick step ball change into Cancer Capricorn, the soul or sidereal astrology supports and prepares us for yet another opportunity to learn the dance of ego-soul alignment. What is this present evolutionary opportunity? Began in May 2017 in Cancer Leo Rahu North Node opposing K2 South Node energies in Capricorn Aquarius. In this full moon video, you will see how this total lunar eclipse, mega full moon release, cleanse, and purification follows up on the shadow issues that emerged in your moon sign during the total solar eclipse, August 21st. It is the most personal lunar eclipse reading you will receive without a personal reading, which looks at your unique natal chart, nodes, and the lunar energies that govern important aspects of your evolution. How have you intuitively and emotionally approached this eclipse season thus far? For instance, immediately after the total solar eclipse, Great Mother told me to begin this channel. Although I didn't feel that I was ready, intuitively, I knew it was now or never. I had no idea how to incorporate such a commitment into my busy life coaching schedule. However, not only have the readings saved me countless hours corresponding with clients between sessions, I now realize this current nodal axis is my coaching specialty, Mama and Daddy Drama Trauma. And this dance is an invitation to us all to heal it. Mama Drama Trauma and Daddy Drama Trauma are planetary disorders. It is when a parent or both project unhealed aspects of themselves onto the child or children, causing emotional and or physical trauma. In cases when the parent or parents are unwilling, unable, or unavailable to heal, my coaching work supports individuals to live in loving detachment. For more information on that, go to greatmotherspeaks.info. Click the picture of me wearing an afro and the words Mama Drama Trauma on the homepage, where you will find where to book life coaching and a personal Great Mother Speaks reading online. The Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck used for these readings was channeled several years ago while praying for a more soulful approach to support my clients. Based on Dorothy's orphan narrative in the Wizard of Oz movie, Great Mother teaches us through the signs and symbols of chakras, the lunar cycles, and our God-Goddess identity, how to dance along the yellow brick road we are being guided to walk this lifetime. It is a path that teaches us to honor personal truth and the truth in our healing or ego-soul aligning process to lovingly express our highest truth at all times. At this full moon, January 31st, 2018, Total Lunar Eclipse moment, this is what they have to say to you. Well, you truly are a divine, deeply loved child of the great Mother, Father, God, who is never, ever judged, condemned, or left alone. This is the energy that we receive these readings from, is an understanding of our divinity and an acceptance of our eternal grace and mercy. Of course, that was the Christ dispensation. And to actually live in that Christ consciousness is to live in ego-soul alignment. And of course, that is the balancing of the great Mother-Father energies, our yin-yang energies. And so that is what we enter each reading with during the lunar cycles, the light and the shadow phases of the moon and the sun, but particularly with the ecliptical season, the ecliptical nodes. And right now we are undergoing a very important follow-up to the total solar eclipse that the world stopped to watch. Welcome Virgo, Libra, moon people, Virgo in the soul sidereal astrology, and of course with that Libra and the Western egocentric, earth-centric astrology. You are in your Libra moon sign, watching this video about where you were during the total solar eclipse, totality as it was called. Be sure that you watch the lunar totality video. It's going to go into depth about what these supportive energies are for you in your 5th, 11th, and 12th houses, Virgo, Libra, moon people in particular. This is a recap of great Mother Father's energy from that time. Of course, the new moon is when a total solar eclipse occurs. And so Great Mother's coming right through for you, saying that look at that total solar eclipse that happened August 21st and remember where you were. Not physically, although that's going to help you pinpoint it. If you physically remember when the world stopped to watch the eclipse where you were, then you can go deeper beneath the egoic surface and try to remember where you were emotionally, where you were intuitively, where you were in your body. Great Mother saying at the time of that new moon, when of course the sun was as strong as it ever can be in Leo, sidereal and Western, ruled by the sun, eclipsed by Great Mother in Cancer, Leo, she's saying that you were either in a situation that was causing you great trepidation, or you were entering a dark night of the soul, which happened for many people at that time. That eclipse, absolutely, energetically, what a total solar eclipse does is it pulls out the shadows from the collective planetary consciousness. And the ecliptical, again, watch lunar totality. I go into all of what this is about in terms of soul evolution, collective soul evolution. For you, for this reading, your constellational collective soul consciousness was in a place of entering a dark night of the soul. You were in your 12th and 11th houses. And so the 12th house in the Vedic astrology from the Virgo for Libra is, of course, the house of isolation. It is the last house on the astrological wheel. It is where we reflect upon the evolution through the houses that we've had. Typically, it is symbolized by being hospitalized. Maybe there's an illness that keeps you alienated from others. Incarceration. It's during those periods of times. Many times people can reflect and they can say, I grew a great deal during that time. We have observed individuals, if we haven't been in those situations, that have undergone great spiritual catharsis, either in terms of what appears to be evolutionary growth or what appears to be a devolution during those isolating periods. Your soul was experiencing that in Leo. Okay, and so the soul astrology with this Leo sun was ruled by, of course, the sun in both rules Leo, but in the Vedic, the nakshatra that Leo was in is ruled by Ketu, and Ketu is the south node in Vedic astrology. Of course, Leo is the north node in Western astrology. So there was this pulling. There was this pulling of solar energy, and solar energy, your sun sign, represents your personality. But of course, the personality is inspired by, is motivated by, informed by the moon, the lunar. So while the personality was pushing and pulling Leo, going into the north node type energy, was ready to shine. In the Vedic, even though it's also ruled by the sun, Rahu is in Cancer. And so there was actually a pull back to the early degrees of Leo, 0, 13.2 degrees, in the nakshatra of Maha, which is a very evolved Leo energy. And in this evolved Leo energy, Virgo Libra people, you were entering either a dark night of the soul or a dark forest. The 49 cards in the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck reflect the 49 scenes of the Wizard of Oz. This is the scene when Dorothy and the three entered the dark forest, and the sign that greets them tells them, I'd turn back if I were you. Baba Yaga, the wild woman, the Slavic goddess whose house is on chicken legs are the stilts of a house. Wild woman. You were needing to express a part of yourself, because you can see this is a fifth chakra, new moon card. There was a part of you, a higher will, that was wanting to be expressed, that solar energy, the power of 100 suns, Leo. Okay? In that Maha, a very evolved, dignified, paternal Leo energy, not a lower, childish Leo energy, but a very paternalistic, family-oriented, successful Leo energy that was being ruled by a nakshatra with Ketu energies that were pulling out those immature aspects of Leo. And so it was a very refined Leo energy that was eclipsed by Baba Yaga for you in your 12th house. And so on a soul level, what happened was the expression that you had as a soul in your body was ready to integrate all of the lessons that it had up to that point. Because remember, the nodes changed in May last year. There's a nodal shift every 18 months. And so the first eclipse at the beginning of August, and then the second, which was a total solar eclipse, began the eclipse season in earnest. And so this sun that came out during that new moon was shining very brightly. You were wanting to integrate what you had learned up to that point. You're ready to move with the ecliptic, because of course the moon was in Cancer Leo. And so Leo, again, in both the Western and in the Vedic, the sun was in Leo, and in the moon was in Leo in Western. And so all this Leo energy, but a Leo moon eclipsing a Leo sun cancels it out, doesn't it? And so emotionally it was quite flat. And in the Vedic, a Cancer moon eclipsing a Leo sun cancels out a mature Leo energy when the Cancer is immature. And that was an immature nakshatra of Ashlesha. That was the nakshatra of mama drama trauma. It was the nakshatra of emotional chaos, addictions, conditional love, hypnotic attachments, all sorts of problems dealing with self-limiting beliefs. And so that worked against that very dignified Leo energy. And so there was this pushing and pulling within you emotionally and intuitively. And emotionally, the Leo response in the 11th house was, what am I going to do with myself? How am I going to operate in the world like this? What is my attitude going to be? You know, what is reality? Am I coming or going? Here I am, ready to integrate what I've learned, ready to move with the nodal processes, and I'm completely out of balance. So this is what Great Mother's coming through, and she's reminding you that during that time for you on an internal level, there was some feeling of imbalance, yet there was hope because the sun was so hopeful. The sun was so ready to move forward. And for you in your 11th and 12th houses, that is an indication of wanting to move forward in terms of leaving a prior evolutionary phase, preparing yourself for a new phase. However, I'm looking at this 5th chakra, and I'm wondering if at that time there was something that was needing to be redressed, brought down into the light. Because total solar eclipses show us the shadows of our lives, and collectively the shadows of our lives on this planet right now is the mama drama trauma. Because right now we have the same lunar transit in Cancer Leo, and Leo is conjunct Sirius, which is the independent woman, the modern mother, the woman who can do it all. And the shadow of that is mama drama trauma. So how have we addressed these issues of abandonment, neglect, abuse in the home since then? And how has that in some way maybe frightened you or made you enter a dark night of the soul, Virgo, Libra, moon people? Because if we look at what this process truly means, the new moon during that solar eclipse is now at the full moon of the total lunar eclipse, and the sun is about to eclipse Earth. Well, again, look at lunar totality to get the precise technicalities that are going on. And so there's been a process since August, September, October, November, December, now January. And immediately after that, Great Mother erupted into hurricanes, into tsunamis, into fires, into all sorts of natural disasters, as it was imbibing this immature Ashlesha Vedic Cancer energy. That is not caregiving, that is conditional love, that is the mother that has a lot of drama going on in her life, that is very limiting. She wants what she wants, what she wants. What has not been expressed, Virgo, Libra, moon people, in relationship to this? Because your transformative opportunity as we move around from this new moon to the full moon here with the total lunar eclipse is the energy of Jesus, that Christ consciousness again, that ego soul alignment. It is the yin symbol of the deck. It is the ruler of the heart chakra. It's the law card of soul guidance and guardianship. We always have guidance. We are always guarded and protected. And so what is it that since that time has made you feel that you're not? You see, because Jesus is coming up to remind you to let go, third quarter moon, of anything, absolutely anything that is making you fearful, that is making you doubt, that is prolonging the shadow, whose purpose, by the way, Great Mother sheds her shadow so that we can see. You know, we couldn't see those letters to warn us about mama drama trauma, which is a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. We couldn't see those letters without the shadow. And so we need the shadow sometimes to be warned so that we can follow our guidance. That was a sign. But they didn't follow it because they knew they were what? Protected. You are too. The transformational opportunity offered by this full moon, which is in Capricorn Aquarius, is in your 5th house. Your 5th house in Capricorn Aquarius has to do with an energy that is allowing you to be more creative. It's allowing you to be more playful. Maybe you have lost some aspects of your childhood as a result of mama drama trauma. Maybe you are wanting to recapture that with your own child through healing your own mama drama trauma. Maybe it has been difficult for you to acknowledge, to speak it, because of course the shadows are also things that go unspoken, either because we don't have a language for it or out of shame. But Great Mother's coming through and she's saying that this sun in Capricorn in the Vedic is a very evolved Capricorn energy in Shravana. This nakshatra loves to listen. It loves to learn. It preserves history so well. It's an excellent researcher and a good counselor because the form of mama drama trauma that this this Capricorn sun has is that it heals from it. Jesus energy, healing energy. Okay, what did Jesus tell his disciples? He said to proclaim spiritual freedom, claim spiritual liberty to the spiritual captives, proclaim joy to those in the bondage of fear, and to heal the sick in accordance with the will of my Father. And so that is the capacity that we know that we have. And that is the directive that we know that we have. And with this sun in your soul in Capricorn, it's saying that Shravana is giving you the power to heal from this. Heal from those shadows that came up during the total solar eclipse, Virgo, Libra, Moon people, because the energies that are supporting you are Capricorn, Aquarius. Aquarius in your 5th house is that energy that has to do with caring about what other people think to your detriment. Being so concerned with 5th house energies of self-indulgence and attention seeking and those types of things, that you don't make a move unless somebody gives you approval. And that is an imbalance that can last lifetime after lifetime. And eventually, during one of these ecliptical seasons, in one lifetime, the shift is made. But as you will find over the next 12 months, as this season continues, this Capricorn, Aquarius, Leo, Cancer energy on these nodal axes are going to shift in various positions to facilitate the release of this energy. So don't feel that this is my first time hearing this. What is she talking about? It will become increasingly clear through the news, just as the hurricanes that came right after that new moon. And then the crescent was the sexual assault issues that have not ceased. And then we had the child abuse issues, the opiate addiction issues, and now the children are being raised more and more by the government because of foster care. And now here we come again, looking at this Sirius Leo conjunction in the Western moon with I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar, with this Leo that actually is in a lot of pain as it relates to that Cancer aspect in the soul. Healing that soul energy is being facilitated by this crossroads. And that's what Great Mother doesn't want us to overlook. And that's why it's so important to look at it so that we can see the energies that are supporting us. The Hecate card is the crossroads card. It is also a fifth chakra card. She's coming through very strongly for you, Virgo Libra people, encouraging you to speak your truth, if not to anyone else, to yourself at the very least. This is the scene in the film when the Wicked Witch of the East is trying to take Dorothy's shoes in the castle. And by gosh, she gets shocked, doesn't she? Because we cannot take the birthright of someone. And our birthright is to be happy, healthy, and whole. That's why there's a law of soul guidance and guardianship. That's our birthright. We came here with that. You know, so that's what the red ruby slippers symbolized. And that's why Glinda, who symbolized the Great Mother, gave Dorothy those shoes for her journey. And so we all get those shoes for our journey down here. Our birthright to be happy, healthy, and whole. She can't take that. And what does a terrible mother do? Or what does Mama Drama Trauma do? The wicked witches always symbolize the terrible mother. But try to take our birthright to be happy, healthy, and whole. Okay, and so we love them. And so as Dorothy did, she said, oh, take the shoes, but give me Total. Total symbolizes intuition. And so throat chakra is heart above will, your higher will. What Great Mother does not want you to overlook is this 11th house energy, Virgo, Libra, Moon people, of the moon right now is really about the progression, the evolution of Cancer from an immature Ashlesha to a very mature Pusha energy. Pusha is a loving Cancer energy, which is now what we're having with this lunar eclipse. Yes, the sun is going to be in opposition to the moon, and the earth is going to be casting its shadow onto the moon, appearing bluish or orange or whatever the juxtaposition renders. But that energy that does not support you understanding that you're loved and protected is going to be released as long as you acknowledge that you have a birthright to be happy, healthy, and whole. Acknowledge it. Validate your feelings. There's a value in vulnerability and integrating your feminine side in a way that is not so much about purring or roaring, but it's about accepting that yin energy of love. That's what we all want. All these scams going on and sexual assaults and opiate addiction and gotta have so many likes and this validation and what do they think and all this stuff. It's just misguided attempts to be loved, and we already are loved. We're already loved. We don't have to do anything. We came here loved. It's just that there are experiences that we have that appear to show us otherwise. And so that's why Jesus is popping up for you for this total lunar eclipse. The lunar eclipse is about releasing the shadows that came up during the solar eclipse. And so let's see what the shadow of this is for you, Virgo, Libra people, in terms of the challenges that you may have in acknowledging that this crossroads is an opportunity for you to assert your intuition, to assert your birthright to happiness, health, and wholeness that no one can take away. It's just not possible, regardless of what seems to be threatening. And many times those threats can really feel on an emotional Libra level very real. And that 11th house energy of that moon, even though it has matured from that immature Cancer to a more loving, nurturing Pusha, is very devotional, but it does have to learn how to be self-protective. And so this can be a little challenging. The shadow that you have is centering. It's very important for you, Great Mother is saying, that as you begin to align with your intuition and to trust it more and to listen to it more and more, that you meditate, that you begin to listen to your body, especially your digestive tract, your digestive system. It's very important that as you begin to speak your truth, of course, Virgo is ruled by the throat chakra, and Gemini is too, because the throat chakra is ruled by Mercury. And on a soul level, what you're speaking is something that is actually coming through from your intuition. If you see a little antenna there beneath the third eye, that is what goes down to the gut chakra. Because as you'll see in the next card, Great Mother saying your relationship to this shadow is Moses. There's a little antenna coming up from the third chakra, and that goes right to the third eye. So this is what the physical ego soul alignment looks like. It's between the gut and the third eye, which of course is the pineal gland. And your digestion is really, it went like this. It's really, really important, because it will tell you how well you are processing not only your food that you eat, but the emotional food that you eat. Many times our stomach upset and the intestinal issues that we have to do with not processing our emotions. And this is a tough one to accept. Dealing with wild woman energy is not only calling a thing, as Iyanla Vanzant says, but it is also standing by what you said, going through the dark forest, going through the dark night of the soul, seeing it all the way through. And that may not be your strong point, which is why these energies are coming around in houses that will support you to do that. This Cancer Leo in your 11th house is all about that people pleasing, that public image and all that. But now it's in Pusha, this evolved energy that's about being self-protective, not in an immature, conditional love way, but in a generous way, in a prosperous, hospitable way, first and foremost to yourself. So the first law of spiritual protection is to be in constant communication with your soul. When Glenda told Dorothy to click her heels 3 times, Dorothy went into a meditative state, because even though she knew that she was protected, she knew that she was being guided, she needed to connect with that inner guidance as well to confirm it. 3 times, ego, soul, spirit. Click your heels 3 times and that shadow will disappear. This shadow is in the waning gibbous moon, which is the sharing and thanksgiving moon. You don't feel like there's something to be thankful for. You don't feel like you really have anything to share about your journey since the total solar eclipse. But Great Mother is saying you do. You do. Just like Dorothy, by this time that she was clicking her heels 3 times, she was centering herself in her new self. You haven't done that yet because you haven't really accepted your birthright. And Great Mother is saying that this lunar eclipse, if you accept your birthright and your protection, then you will be able to center yourself, ego, soul, spirit, in that new reality. You will begin to see yourself from that reality. You will begin to walk in that reality. You will begin to feel your life being expressed and your heart from that reality. And your higher will as you physically speak, and also just through your everyday interactions with people, that throat chakra. But it's a crossroads for you. And so she doesn't want you to overlook that this is a crossroads for you as we approach this eclipse. We've just passed the first quarter moon, which is about choices, actions, and facing challenges, the Moses card. Your relationship to the shadow is in learning to live the law. And the law is that ego-soul alignment. It is that gut and checking in to see whether or not that indigestion is because someone just said something to you that really triggered some MDT. Someone just discredited you, or maybe they overlooked you in a way that felt unerringly familiar to the way you were neglected by your mom, or triggered some guilt because you feel that you may be neglective or expressing immature Ash-Lesser types of energies with your child. So these shadows came up when Great Mother blocked out the sun. But remember, as the sun and the earth block out the full moon energies that we're used to seeing, and the color is faded a bit, it's because that moon is being purified into a more mature expression of motherhood, and to that caregiving, reliable, nurturing type of energy. And first and foremost, Great Mother is saying, center and do that within yourself. Prayer is praying to Spirit. Okay, Spirit, this is what I'm really concerned about. Okay, Great Mother, Father God. Okay, this is really my prayer. And meditation is breathing. Breathing down to the gut. Deeper. Pull from the root chakra, the feet. Long breath, inhalation from the gut. Release. Centering your mind on your higher self, your soul, and allowing it to speak to you. That's meditation. Allowing it to answer your concerns. That's meditation. And so the shadow is that is what needs to occur. And your relationship to the shadow is that may not be occurring because right now you're really not tuned in. You know, your physical body is really not tuned into doing all that. And so Moses, that's what she's saying. You know, this is the scene in The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy is being rewarded by the mayor of Munchkinland for killing the Wicked Witch of the West. When the house from the Twister dream fell on the witch, remember that? And she's looking around like, what the heck is going on? These little people all excited because I killed somebody. I'm Dorothy from Kansas, you know, what's going on? And so that's kind of how you are, you know, what's going on? What are you talking about? Get in touch with your gut. Dorothy wasn't in touch with her gut, because if she had been, she would have never had to experience this. Because who was the Wicked Witch of the East but the sister and reincarnation of the Wicked Witch of the West, who she had just killed? And that's why we keep going around and around in these cycles until we get it. There's never any judgment or condemnation. We are eternal beings having a human experience. And so we get it when we get it. We get it when we get it. It's no big deal. It's just, you know, information. Okay, so at this particular stage, you may not understand that you are being acknowledged by someone, or even I am telling you something that is a great boon to your spiritual development, or to you as a human being with regard to your birthright, but it's not quite registering, just like with Dorothy, with the mayor of Munchkinland. He was going to even make a bust to her name for saving Munchkinland, and she's like, okie dokie. All right, now what your shadow work is, what needs to be released, is feeling like you're alone. Maybe that's why you are not kind of vibing with it. And the shadow of this is kind of like, you know, nobody understands. I'm feeling ungrounded. I'm not in a position to be taking these kind of risks and following my heart and all this kind of stuff. I just want to get by, you know. And a lot of times when you're in 11th and 12th house energy, it'll feel like that. That's the test. Those are the last hurdles before you enter a new wheel of life. But they are hurdles because they're a test. And with this Leo energy in your 11th house, with this emotion for the Libra moon, the ego is really having a hard time with this, feeling dejected, feeling rejected. This is a new moon energy too that's hearkening back to the new moon during the total solar eclipse. And so it's just lit up so that we can see Dorothy holding Toto there in the middle of the road when Miss Gulch kicks them off of her property at the very beginning of the film. And she says, Toto, are you okay? Well, is your intuition okay? Are you tuning in? Well, Great Mother says that's a challenge for you. And so your shadow work is about tuning into that intuition and accepting that you do feel alone. And as you accept that, hopefully you can accept that you are not. We're never alone. We always have guides. We always have support. And we always have guardianship. And if it doesn't feel like that is enough, what Great Mother is saying needs to be embodied. And I just literally pulled this card. The angels. Great Mother is saying, embody and allow the angels to facilitate the release of this shadow of not wanting to connect with your higher self. There's a resistance there, Virgo Libra people. There's a resistance there, and Great Mother's acknowledging that, and she's saying that this energy that's coming up during this total lunar eclipse is being supported by such celestial transits that you will be able to release anything that does not allow you to accept your divinity, your birthright, and that it cannot be taken away. That does not allow you in your mind, this is in your mind, to meditate the way that you need to connect with your higher self. So that this is not your only identity. When we feel orphaned or neglected or abandoned or abused, I too have experienced mama drama trauma. It is so that we learn self-love and spiritual independence. Did you know that? It's not a mean, horrible thing that people owe us something from, or our mothers are so terrible or whatever. It feels that way. It feels that way because we're not taught anything differently, but I'm here to let you know, and so that we learn spiritual independence and self-love. And the angels help us do that by learning to live in loving detachment. We learn to detach from the mother that we want, so that we can accept the one we have. And the one that we have, be it our birth mother, or surrogate, adoptive, earth mother, whatever mother we want to call it, our motherland, our homeland, whatever that we are having struggles and frustrations with, Great Mother wants you to know that there is a soul contract that says this is how it's going to go down in order for you to learn self-love and spiritual independence. All souls have to learn it. And mama and daddy drama trauma are the paths to learn it. And we're in the thick of it right now with these nodal transits. So embody the awareness that you are being guided, that you are being, your very birthright is being guarded. And the angels will help you to more powerfully ego soul align. You see the double yin, double yang symbol? That's for ego soul. The angels assist us with that. We can't do any of this stuff alone. We need help. We forget when we get beyond that veil of how powerful we are. So we need help, and there's a lot of help for you. And call on your angels. Call on the help that you need. Allow yourself to experience the primal trust in yourself to validate your own divine individuality, to let go of the kind of peer pressure that whatever make you think to offer up your intuition or to offer up your birthright for your intuition, which is what Dorothy did. Total symbolized her intuition. And so she was offering up her intuition, offering up her birthright for her intuition. She was saying, take my shoes, my birthright, so I can keep my intuition. We don't have to do that, is what I'm trying to say. It's not an either or. We get both. We get both. It's just that one, we're born with intuition, and the other, our birthright, we have to claim. And that's why the witch got killed. It's because she wasn't going to get the shoes, period. And that's just the way it is. So many times we have to sacrifice something of value in order to get something of greater value. And what I'm seeing here, what needs to be sacrificed, Virgo, Libra, Moon people, are the shadows that came up for you during that total solar eclipse that had to do with mama drama trauma, had to do with not speaking your truth, had to do with either holding back some wild expression that you had. This Slavic goddess is all about, expressing who she is and telling the truth. And, like I'm doing these readings that maybe people vibe with and maybe they don't, but it doesn't matter because we're only here for such a short time. This isn't our home. We're just here to share, in our journey. And you are at the end of a very important part of your journey, Virgo, Libra people, with this Leo energy in your 11th and 12th houses of this solar energy. Look at your sun sign as well. Look at your sun sign. Even though these are moon sign readings, because we are doing ecliptical work now, I would encourage you to look at your sun sign to see how it matches up, because the moon is in your 11th house. And where there's over concern with what other people think or how they will validate and support you, there is a lack of receptivity to higher powers. Okay, so again, giving up our birthright to be happy, healthy, and whole for our intuition is not the deal. The deal is having our intuition, our higher wisdom, because we need it to experience our birthright. We have a birthright, but in order to experience happiness, health, and wholeness, we have to be operating through our intuitive selves as well. That ego soul communication. Emotion is how the ego communicates to the soul. The soul communicates to the ego through intuition. The outcome of your shadow work, which is quite profound, Virgo, Libra, Moon people, is the Dagda. The Dagda is the father of the Celtic pantheon, and he held a hammer both realistically and figuratively, so to speak, very masculine yang, strong yang, mythological archetype, as well as a very wise, intuitive ruler, as we see by this law card, the double yin symbol, the law of Divine Mother. Divine Mother has to do with that intuition. Okay, one symbol of the yin is that heart energy, love. A double yin is that intuitive communication. And that's the law of Divine Mother, connecting with her through Great Mother Speaks, through that intuition, through that what you know. And we see here that earth head, that manifestation of that Gaia energy in that masculine, that yang, that physical earth, being represented as the male as it is in Eastern cultures, is open to listening to what Great Mother is saying. It's opening to listening. And we have the Ankh in the center, which is in the Great Mother Speaks deck, the symbol for the second chakra. So aligning that second chakra with that intuition goes even deeper into the whole body intuitive system, because that goes into what you are propagating, that goes into what you are producing, what you are creating, what you are desiring in the world. This is your outcome from working with the energies that supporting you to accept your birthright. Virgo, Libra, Moon peoples, it is the law of Divine Mother. You will connect with that intuitive power by working with the energies that are supporting you in your 5th, 11th, and 12th houses, according to what she shared with you here. If you want a personal reading, go to the links below, and we will do this from your specific moon house, and we're going to look at your nakshatras, and we're going to look at, exactly how this transit is affecting your north and south node. This is all lunar energy that we're talking about here, and to get more specifically into how this is affecting you from your collective celestial group consciousness would be quite valuable for you to have as this eclipse season continues. I want to let you know I appreciate you watching, sharing, and subscribing as you see fit. But above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too. As always, double check your moon sign at the links below, because in case it is the same in your sidereal as it is in your western, which happens 1/5 of the time, then you will also want to listen to your celestial collective consciousness sign before this.